What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into TTP Sports. And the Phillies, they've taken the series from the San Francisco Giants, winning the first 3 games of this 4-game set, and they have a chance to sweep tomorrow with Zack on the bump. That would be very nice to have your ace on the mound for a chance to sweep a 4-game series against a not-so-good opponent in this Giants team, and you take that any day of the week. I always say winning 3 of 4 is probably the most important thing you can do in a 4-game series because it's hard to sweep a 4-game series regardless of the opponent that you're playing against. And the fact that you do have a chance to sweep it, you might as well even try to push all the buttons for that, especially since you do have your ace on the mound tomorrow. But I wouldn't be shocked if Rob Thompson decides to give maybe like 1 or 2 guys a day off tomorrow. Maybe Alec Bohm with the, dealing with a little bit of the hip issue, possibly. Maybe he gets a day off or something like that. But, I wouldn't be shocked if that's the case. But I would still like to see this Phillies team go out for the sweep, go out, balls against the wall or whatever the hell that saying is. It would be great. It would be fantastic. And for these past 2 games, we weren't able to recap last night's game. The Phillies scored a lot of runs, 14 runs in the matter of the fact. Ranger Suarez on the bump. He wasn't his sharpest Ranger self, but he still was Ranger nonetheless. Gave up 3 runs. That was the first time he's given up 3 runs in a very long time. So he's basically just been that good. He was the NL pitcher of the month for April, so he's just been that dominant. He's been that elite to where you see 3 runs allowed on the board, and it's like, that's not the best start from Ranger Suarez there, and that's still a solid start any day of the week. He went 6, strong innings, only gave up 3 earned runs. He had 6 strikeouts, so hey, I'll take that and run to the bank. And then the rest of the guys that you used, Ruiz and Dominguez out of the bullpen, they shut things down from there. Phillies just kept scoring. It was brutal weather yesterday. It was raining basically throughout most of the game. The field conditions were terrible. There were some errors on the side from the Giants where the field was just completely messing them up, and the Phillies were taking advantage of that. They knocked their starter out of the first inning. In win, he only got 2 outs there, allowing 5 runs, and then they scored the 4 runs. And the next, with the next reliever coming up, they were just basically, they scored 9 runs in the first 2 innings, and then they eventually tacked on to that lead in the later stages of the ball game to basically, even though it was really just out of reach from there, just put it even more out of reach, and without the long ball too. I believe they only hit 1 home run yesterday, and that was from Whit Merrifield. And yeah, the Phillies are definitely going to have some players step up now that Trea is most likely going to be out for the foreseeable future here. I believe he did say that after Friday's game, like right after we finished that recap, that live stream, that he expects himself to possibly miss 6 weeks with the hamstring injury. So, hey, it sucks that he is going to be out because he just basically was red hot at that point, and he was like peak Trea with the way that he was swinging the bat, and he was being a real electric spot for you in that 2-hole. But I guess if you're going to get injured, it's probably best that you get injured early in the season to where, you're not missing the back stretch. He's only going to be missing 6 weeks, so if it's 6 weeks at this point, he's basically just missing the month of May, and he'll probably be back by, I would say, mid-June or something like that. So, early mid-June. So it's not that far away. And hey, like I said, I'd rather, if you're going to get early, like with the hamstring injuries, strains and sprains and all that stuff, I'd rather you do it in the beginning of the season to where, like I said, it doesn't affect you at the later stage of the season. So it definitely is going to stuck without Trea. So that means other guys need to step up in the lineup, meaning, Kyle Schwarber needs to step up even more. Bryce Harper needs to step up, who had a fantastic, game in the Sunday win with the 3-run bomb. That was nice to see out of Bryce Harper. And, guys like, that are going to be stepping into the lineup on the occasion, like a Whit Merrifield, like a Edmundo Sosa. Those guys are going to have to chip in during the chances that they can get. And, Bryson Stott needs to step up. So there's guys that need to step up. Alec Bohm is still doing his thing. He extended his hitting streak, I believe, to 18 after today's ball game. So he continues to find a way to swing the bat very nicely. He still drives in runs like Alec Bohm does. And hey, just keep doing your thing. Just keep doing your thing, and you're winning ball games. You're winning ball games. That's the most important thing. You find ways to win. You either dominate a team one day, score a bunch of runs, or you can make it a low-scoring affair, and your pitching takes it away, where your starting pitcher goes deep into the ball game, or they give you 6 innings of quality start, and then your bullpen takes it from there. So right now, a lot of things are clicking for this Phillies team. They've won a lot of ball games at home. They've won a lot of ball games in general, and they have a lot of series wins under the belt right now in the first month, basically the first like a month and a month and 2 weeks. So they've been winning a lot of series. Like I believe I've said this a couple of recaps ago. The last time the Phillies lost a series was against the Cincinnati Reds, and that was the second series of the year when they lost those first two series to start the season. And basically since then, it's been either series win or a 4-game split. So they've been finding ways to win ball games, and they come out here with a series win in the 4-game set with a chance to sweep tomorrow. And like I said, that just shows you how good of a team this has been so far. And even without some of the best guys in the lineup doing their thing, just imagine when Schwarber gets going, when he gets the power going consistently. Because we all know when the weather gets warmer, we all know that's when Kyle Schwarber starts to hit nukes basically every single game. And then Bryce Harper, when he eventually starts to get going, because I do expect it at this point. Is Nick Castellanos ever going to figure it out? I have no idea. He just is what he is at this point. Alec Bohm, is he going to continue up this pace, what he's doing on the 18-game hitting streak? Probably not. He's probably going to come back down to earth a little bit, but I'm enjoying what I'm seeing from Alec Bohm. I'm definitely riding the Alec Bohm high right now, but, like I said, there's going to be other games where Brandon Marsh has to step up, where Bryson Stott has to step up, where the other guys need to step up, and that's about JT Realmuto needs to step up, so... And especially for the absence of Trea Turner, that's going to be the most important thing here. And that's what this team needs to do over the course of these next 6 weeks, basically. And yeah, they're just hitting in their stride right now. They're finding ways to win. The bullpen's shutting things down. And I know a lot of people are probably going to bring up, oh, they're not playing that good of teams. They're playing teams like the Rockies. They're playing teams like the White Sox. They're playing the Reds. They're playing the Giants. You can't really judge this team right now. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. The Braves smoke these teams. Good teams are supposed to beat the bad teams. That's what defines you as a team. You beat the bad teams, you take care of business in series that you're supposed to win. If the Phillies weren't as good as they were, they would be probably maybe drop one of these series. They maybe drop two of these series. Maybe that series against the Angels where they found a way to squeak out that last game where Zack wasn't pitching his best, and then you had those two very scary last innings from Alvarado and Soto. Maybe an older Phillies team finds a way to lose that game, and they lose that series to the Angels after coming off that sweep of the Padres. Or thinking of some other series, maybe that one game that they had against the White Sox, where it felt like they were just coming back into the game in that ninth inning. Maybe an older Phillies team blows that. They found a way to win, and they swept that series against a very bad opponent. So there's just things there that you keep doing, and this Phillies team keeps doing, to where I think it shows them what type of team they are. They're on a very high hot streak right now. And yes, over the course of 162, there's going to be very peaks. There's going to be major peaks and major valleys. And right now we're on the major peak, and it's very fun to watch, and I don't want it to end. I really don't want it to end because I love the way that they're playing it. This peak can definitely continue because, even though, like I said, they're still playing very beatable opponents in the upcoming games. They definitely are. With this last game against the Giants, I believe they played the Marlins. They play the Blue Jays for 2 games after this series. They play the Marlins, who are a very bad team. Then I believe they play the Mets and the Nationals. So definitely some beatable opponents upcoming here, and you need to take advantage of that. And so far, this Phillies team has taken advantage of the past so many series that they've been playing in, and that's the most important thing there. It definitely is. So if we just look at the past 2 games here, we're probably more looking to depth up tonight's game because that was the more recent one. Looking at yesterday's game, you put 14 runs on the board. That was one of those games where, because I wasn't really able to pay attention to the full thing, I was really just updating myself on the MLB app while, I had people over my house, and I was like, oh, Phillies are putting some runs on the board. Oh my God, it's 5-0. Oh my God, it's 9-0. So basically that was one of those games where I could just, okay, I don't have to focus on this game. It's a gigantic lead for this Phillies squad. They're not going to find a way to blow this. So that was basically my mentality for yesterday's ball game. I was actually at tonight's ball game, so that was very nice to see in person. So, but if we look at yesterday's ball game, the 14-3 victory, Kyle Schwarber was very good, 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a walk. JT Realmuto was 1 for 3. I believe he had a triple in this game, and he also walked twice. Bryce Harper, he went 1 for 3 with 2 walks and 2 runs scored. Alec Bohm, he went 1 for 1 with an RBI. Then he eventually came out of the ball game with the precautionary thing with his hip. And then Whit Merrifield, he proceeded to go 1 for 2 with a home run in that. Brandon Marshko's 1 for 4 with an RBI. Nick Castellanos 1 for 4 with an RBI. Bryson Stott 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and 2 walks. Edmundo Sosa 1 for 4 with an RBI, and Johan Rojas 1 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Phillies went 6 for 17 with runners in scoring position. They left 10 runners on base. Ranger Suarez, it's still like when I look at this stat line, this is still a very solid outing from Ranger Suarez. It's just when you compare it to his previous outings, especially across the entire month of April, this is the first time I believe he's allowed 3 earned runs since his first start of the season. So that's just how good Ranger has been over the course of April. That's just amazing. 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. 94 pitches. His ERA is at 1.72. So he's been great. It's basically been great. Ruiz, a guy that they just called up basically to replace someone in the bullpen. He goes 2 innings, allowed 2 hits, 2 walks, 33 pitches. So he just basically saved you the bullpen there for 2 innings. And then Sergio Dominguez closes out the game on 11 pitches. And that's basically it there for yesterday's game. A lot of runs. For today's ball game, Taijuan Walker on the mound. And hey, I'll give kudos to Taijuan Walker. I thought he was pretty solid in this game. You could probably say the past 2 starts for Walker probably replicate each other a lot, where he allows a run in the first inning, not many runs, allows a couple of hits, a couple of base runners, but he manages to get out of the full jam with limiting the damage. Then he's really solid for the next few innings, and then his pitch count's in a very good spot. He comes out in the 7th inning, allows a base runner, then allows a home run. It's basically a carbon copy of the past 2 starts for Walker. But I still think today's start was definitely a lot better in terms of the start that he had against San Diego. He went 6 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs allowed, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts on 90 pitches. And it was not a wrong decision of Rob Thompson to bring him out for the 7th inning. I believe he only had like in the high 70s of his pitch count, if I'm not mistaken. Or he was in the high 70s or he was in the low 80s. And that was still a very fine spot to bring him out in the 7th inning. Don't blame Rob whatsoever. That was just a situation where didn't execute. More so, I believe the last game against the Padres, Rob left him in for maybe one or 2 more batters. This was more on Taijuan Walker just not executing in that part. He allows the home run in the 7th inning, becomes a 2-run ball game. Then Rob elects to go to the bullpen. Gregory Soto got into a little bit of trouble, walking all that stuff, but he managed to get out of that situation, limiting the damage. So, and then the bullpen basically from there, Jeff Hoffman was very electric in his 8th inning of work after allowing a triple to Conforto. And there were 2 plays out there in center field. Both were hits by Conforto. I believe Johan Rojas probably could have had both, if I'm not lying with you. The one that he in the 8th inning where it went off the top of his glove, then went off the wall for a triple. I believe that is a play that Rojas should have had. And the play in the 1st inning, which scored the first run for the Giants, I believe Rojas probably could have had that too. I think he overplayed it. I think he thought that ball was probably going to the wall, maybe even over the fence and into the bushes out in center field. I think he overplayed it. The ball went right in front of him and went off the wall. So I think those were 2 playable, catchable balls that Rojas probably should have had there, which led to some base runners and led to a run scored in the 1st inning. But still, no harm, no done there at the end of the day, because I do believe Taijuan Walker, for the majority of the game, was very solid for the most part. And then looking at the lineup today, the way that you scored your runs, you had a very good bottom of the 3rd inning. You tied the ball game up in the bottom of the 2nd as well. Bottom of the 2nd inning, Alec Bohm reaches in on an infield, on an error, which is one of the weirdest errors I've ever seen in the world. Here comes the Giants shortstop. It should be a bang-bang routine play. Dude freaking sends the ball into orbit, throwing it. He launches it for no reason, unless he lost his footing, which I believe that was the case. I think maybe he tripped on the dirt or something like that, and he sent the ball flying into the dugout, which allowed Bowman to get the 2nd base. Mars eventually moves Bowman over to the 3rd on a ground out. Then Nick Castellanos struck out, and then Bryson Stott walked, which then he stole 2nd during the Edmundo Sosa at bats, and then Sosa broke his bat and found a way to chop one past Logan Webb, and I think the broken bat made Webb flinch a little bit to prevent him from getting this ground ball, and it just sat there in the infield, and it was perfectly placed basically there for Sosa to be safe at 1st and for Bowman to score to tie the ball game up. So hey, find a way. You get bat on ball, maybe some good things happen, and that's exactly what happened right there. Maybe got some luck with Webb probably being distracted by the broken bat. Basically, his bat just split in half, and the barrel was like right at Logan Webb. So that's probably why he flinched a little bit. Then you go to the bottom of the third inning. Kyle Schwarber leads off with a walk, and then JT singles with 2 runners on base, and then here comes Bryce Harper. Dude unloads on a ball, hanging changeup right down the middle of the plate, sends it to right center field, goes into the bullpen. The one fan in the stands had it in his hands, and it bounced off of it and into the bullpen. That definitely feels bad for him. I do believe the ESPN broadcast interviewed that fan later in the ball game. I'm not sure what they said, but because I was at the game, I only saw it on the TV above me. No noise or anything like that. But, hey, that's good to see Bryce get that, nuke right there, driving some runs, give the Phillies a 4-1 lead right there. The Phillies did tack on another run in this inning. Nick Castellanos got a 2-out single, and then he stole second base, and then Bryson Stott was able to drive him home with a double into the left center field gap to make it 5-1 Phillies, and that would be the last run the Phillies score. The rest of the game, the offense got to Logan Webb, and that was a really good thing because Logan Webb had some pretty solid numbers coming into this game. I believe he had an ERA below 3. I believe his stat, he only allowed 1 home run on the season, and Bryce Harper's home run was the second one that he allowed all year. So, you found a way to get the Logan Webb, which is a pretty good starter in his league. I believe he was second in Cy Young voting last year, so he's doing something right. So you found a way to get to a good starting pitcher, but your bat did go quiet. When the Giants bullpen came into the game, you kind of struggled on that facet. You had some guys in scoring position. Bohm had a leadoff double at one point later in the ball game. You weren't able to drive him home to get those insurance runs, but thankfully your pitching was able to basically settle you down and get the game finished and over with there. Bottom of the 4th inning, you had some 2-out trouble there, and you weren't able to drive them home. Bottom of the 5th inning, nothing really going for there when the Giants brought out their bullpen. Nothing going in the 5th besides a Marsh single. Nothing in the 6th besides a 2-out infield single by JT. Top of the 7th inning, that's when Estrada hits the 2-run shot where the Walker's still in the game, and it becomes a 5-3 lead, and you're kind of clinching a little bit because, oh God, it's a ball game again. And then 5-3, Soto comes in, walks the first 2 guys, hits the first guy, walks the second guy. Then thankfully he manages to get, those guys out. So thankfully, no harm, no done there. Bottom of the 7th inning, Bohm led off the inning with a double, then the Phillies were not able to drive him home after Marsh moved him over to third base. Top of the 8th inning, Hoffman was really good, besides the Conforto triple, which I do believe Rojas should have had. Bottom of the 8th inning, Phillies go down 1-2-3, strike out the side basically, and then Jose Alvarado gets the first out in the 9th, allows a home run to a pinch hitter, and then strikes at the second batter, and then gets lead the line out to Nick Castellanos to end the ballgame off. A little bit of shaky stuff from Alvarado in his past couple of outings, but he got the job done, which is the most important thing at the end of the day. He isn't topping 98, 99 so far, which I'm not sure if there's something wrong there or anything like that. Hopefully that's not the case. It's something to monitor. It's definitely something to monitor. So we'll just have to wait and see on that front, but he still got the job done regardless, which is the most important thing. So yeah, you win 5-4. You won yesterday. You won the first game of the series, so you won 3 out of 4 so far. Tomorrow, you're going to have Zack Wheeler on the bump, and who he's facing, I am not entirely sure, so I'm going to find that out right now. He is going up against Mason Black. I believe this is a guy making his Major League debut, if I'm not mistaken, so I want to see his numbers down in the minor leagues for the Giants, just to see what we're dealing with here in terms of everything here. So Mason Black, he is 24 years old. He is a right-handed pitcher. So far this year in AAA, he is 2-1 with a 1.01 ERA and 26 2/3 innings pitched, 29 strikeouts, a .9 WHIP. So he's pretty good. He's been pretty good this year. So far the past 2 seasons in the minor leagues. In 2022, he had a 3.21 ERA split between 2 leagues. Same thing with 2023. He had a 3.71 ERA split between 2 leagues. And this year, he's been really good. So we'll definitely see what it's like with him in Major League Ball. So we'll see. Where does he rank in the Giants prospect system, Mason Black? Giants top prospects. So let's see, where did he rank in their prospect pool? Mason Black, Mason Black, Mason Black. Show the full list. He is their 7th ranked prospect in their system. Let me see their pitching prospects just to see where he ranks. Okay. Giants. I guess I can't filter the position. Nope. Just for the Giants, he is their top 7th prospect, and I'm not sure where he ranks entirely in Major League Baseball. He's probably not in the top 100 if I'm just going to be honest here. See if I look at any Giants logo here. Giants. I don't think he's there. I don't think he is there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he definitely isn't in the top 100. He's a top 7 prospect for the Giants. That's basically it there. So, he's a guy making his Major League debut tomorrow. Find a way to, beat him around and welcome him to Major League Baseball. That's all you could ask for at the end of the day. And then Zack Wheeler just do his thing. That's all important there. That's all good and dandy. So, yeah. Series win. Let's try to go for the sweep. Let's try to go for the jugular tomorrow. Even though I won't be entirely mad if you don't win tomorrow, but I would like to see you win tomorrow. I think that's important in that fact. So, you're 24-11 on the year. Looking at the standings so far, just to see where you rank. You're in first place, so you had some room right here in the NL East so far. You're now officially in first place. The Braves, they've been slumping a little bit. They lost 3 straight. I believe they got swept by the Los Angeles Dodgers, so that's nice to see. Phillies are 24-11. The Braves are 20-12. The Braves are 2.5 games behind the Phillies for first place in the NL East. That's always nice to see. The Washington Nationals, they're 17-17. They're 6.5 back of the Phillies. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They've been playing some solid baseball, but they're still the Washington Nationals. So, like I said, even though, like I said in the beginning of the year, the Nationals are not going to be as bad as they were in previous, they're definitely going to be a scrappy team, and they're going to be an annoying team to play against. The Mets, they're 7.5 games out. They're 16-18. I believe they just got swept in their series against Tampa Bay. And the Marlins, they are the Marlins. They are 10-26. Looking at around the league as well, Milwaukee Brewers, they're 20-13. Cubs are 21-14. Dodgers, they're 23-13. The Padres are 18-19. The rest of the NL West is not that good right now. Diamondbacks are 15-20 with a positive run differential, so I wonder what that means. Looking at the American League, Baltimore is 23-11. New York is 23-13. The Guardians, they're 22-12. The Twins, they're 19-14 after winning 13 straight, I believe. So their winning streak finally snapped. The Royals, they're 20-15. The AL West, Mariners are 19-15. The Rangers are 19-16. The Athletics, they're 17-18. So they've been winning some ball games. I believe they scored 20 runs on the Marlins the other day. So that's some interesting stuff there. But hey, I want to see, are the Phillies the best record in the baseball right now? Yes, they are. Phillies are the best record in Major League Baseball. They have won 5 games in a row. They're 9-1 in their last 10. And yeah, feels good. Feels good to have that. Definitely does. And just look at the rest of the schedule for the rest of the week, for this upcoming week, basically. So you got this last game tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock against San Francisco, Zack Wheeler and Black. And then you'll have 2 games against Toronto, Christopher Sanchez, Aaron Nola on the mound for those 2 games. You'll be facing against Jose Barrios, who's been very good for Toronto. He actually got AL Pitcher of the Month. He's 4-2 with a 1.44 ERA. And then you'll be going up against Chris Bassett on the second game against Aaron Nola. He's 2-5 with a 5.45 ERA. So that'll be an interesting 2-game set. Then you'll have the off day on Thursday, and then you have a 3-game set with the Miami Marlins. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. We'll see where that goes from there. And then after that, you have 4 games against the Mets, home and home series basically. And then as the schedule goes along there. So yeah, just keep winning your ball games. Keep winning your series. That's the most important thing to do there. And not much on the Twitterverse in regards to this game. Just keep winning your games. That's all that matters at the end of the day. All that matters. All that matters. So that'll do it for today, everybody. I appreciate you all for tuning in whenever you decide to. So don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service with the YouTube algorithm and all that stuff. And use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Do not pass it up. Thanks, guys, for tuning in once again. I'll see you next time.